Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. This time we're going to get into the Axe Battler from the Golden Age game, brought to you by Stone Collectibles. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys sending this over to me for the review. So, let's get started. If you've never played Golden Axe, an easy way to describe it is a sky-scroller beat 'em up. So if you've played stuff like Streets of Rage, if you've played Double Dragon, Battletoads, all those cool side-scrolling games, this is one of those games that gave you that. This one I believe came after Double Dragon, but yeah. So you play one of three characters, Axe Battler being one of them, the other being Tyrius, the other being Gilius. So one is a woman and the other one is a dwarf, an axe-wielding dwarf, the only one who actually wields a golden axe. So, so even though his name is the Axe Battler the Barbarian, he actually wields a broadsword. So yeah, let's get into that. Anyway, this guy is a combination of a few things, all the things I kind of love from the 80s, which is if you've watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan movie, if you've seen Dolph Lundgren in any of those 80s movies, I believe it was Beastmaster, or was that a different guy? I can't remember. But anyway, this guy is a perfect template for you to have your really cool muscular barbarian, which is always a plus if you've loved those kind of 80s movies, especially because he definitely has the Dolph Lundgren look. All he's missing is the actual blonde hair. But yeah, let's jump into it. As far as our head articulation goes, we can actually tilt a little side to side, right? We get a little bit of room. We can look down just a little bit. We can look up just a little bit as well too. You can see here, so you can look to the sky. He has a stoic barbarian look, but his overall look here, like just being the template for a barbarian and pretty much a naked dude, it's pretty cool. This is actually pretty good body for customs. So our arm articulation does a standard wrap around. You can lift the arm all the way up, so you actually get a very good range here. You're going to get your bicep swivel, then you're going to get your double joint, which actually can fold in very well here on the Axe Battler. You have your standard peg, which allows you to flex. Not that Axe Battler would ever do that. He only wishes to destroy his enemies, Death Adlers. As far as our waist articulation goes, we can go left, we can go right, we can go backwards, and we can go forwards. So we actually have a really good ab crunch here. And our lower swivel, we actually can go forward, which allows for more ab crunch. We can go backwards, and we can still tilt side to side, just like on the upper torso. So you actually have a really decent range of movement with this guy. And you can actually get into a bodybuilding competition with him. As I sit here and slowly realize I'm flexing him to be in a very nice competition. I like this. It's kind of like he definitely has the look. I think he can place, right? As far as our leg articulation goes, we can go forward. We have a thigh swivel. Our legs are double jointed. And we actually have a really good movement here. I like that. Hit that acute angle. We have our pivot that goes backwards and forwards. And we have a really good ankle pivot here, as well as toe pivot. So our Axe Battler definitely has the moves. He has the look. He is definitely a really cool guy. Like, I actually like how simple and cool this is. Also, before I forget, there is a boot cut as well. So you also get boot cut. But just thinking about it, I'm like, man, like, this guy actually is a lot of fun. Like, legit, like, if you love the sort of D&D style stuff, if you love fantasy, if you love any of that cool mythical lore, especially like Lord of the Rings stuff, he can be your standard barbarian. This actually makes me more excited for the skeletons, because I would definitely have some more stuff for him to fight by then. And I really like how this guy came out. Very simple, very clean, very updated look to a classic character. I'd really love stuff like that, right? So as far as accessories goes, let's talk about his accessories before we jump into Dragon. Now, he'll get an alternate head, which is definitely, I feel like this is definitely the screaming, grunting face. Because in Golden Axe, you can definitely swing vicariously, and it definitely looks like this is going to be the face for it. Especially because he has, I don't know, it's something sort of about him that screams a live action face that I kind of enjoy. Then we have two open palm action hands. These can either be used as a action palm, or at least as a solid, regular old, just walking hands, things like that. Then we have our more clawed open hands. These look more like battle hands. Right? Last but not least, we have our sword wielding hands, so we can wield weapons. They also have something similar to a trigger finger, so if you want to be crazy and get updated and give him weapons, go for it. And then we have his sword, which is really awesome. This is a two-handed broadsword, but he actually looks like he's only going to wield it with one hand, holding it like this, because it definitely takes up the entire hilt. But yeah, if you want to make him left or right-handed, that's up to you. Oop, I don't know how I did that. And this is him holding the sword. And yeah, I really like how this looks. This is really fun. This is definitely going to satisfy my my love for the mythical realm of stuff, along with Mythic Legions. This is definitely going to cover that, especially because, like I said, I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, so this is definitely worth feeding into that need. Now, as far as his companion, which is Dragon, in this game, you actually get your hands on being able to ride mythical beasts. So it's really cool to be able to, for that, he even came with one. Like, they didn't have to include that. And the fact that that they kind of bundled this in is really nice. And it's packaged very well as well, too. So here we're going to start with the mount. We're going to go start from top to bottom. So we have the mount and the piece that kind of allows you to ride it. These are all soft plastic. And it feels like they can come off, and they can, but I'm not gonna modify that. We can actually tilt our head left and right, which means you can rotate that. You can look up and look down, and don't worry, it didn't break. It just snapped out of the peg. That's because I'm pushing it to its limits. So I like that. It kind of folds out. I mean, yeah, this actually folds out pretty flush. This is good. And the jaw is articulated, so it can open up. Then we have our neck area. This can actually move side to side. And again, these ball joints I really like because it allows me to push it to the edge without actually breaking anything, which allows me to test things for you guys a lot better. So I really do appreciate those things. And it snaps in very easy. And going forward, this is about as far forward as you can go. And going backwards, this is as far as you can go. Then we have our mount, which is kind of like a soft plastic as well. It's movable. And there's actually regular body under there. Our arms can go up and down. And there's a joint on the arms that allows you to rotate and swivel, as well as the standard rotating peg joints. So you can actually get really good, decent poses out of this, at least for the upper torso part. And if we're going to talk about the lower part of him, the tail comes separated in the package again, so it allows you to better movement. The tail can swivel side to side, as well as rotate. Our underbelly matches the entire way through. And then legs, you want to gently, ever so gently, pull them out so you get a little bit of better range. You can go backwards. And you can go just a tad bit forward, but not too much, right? Our knees are singular jointed. And we have a joint here, as well as a toe pivot. So you can actually get some decent moves out of this guy. I like that. I really, really like that this guy has a lot of room to move around with, and you can actually get a lot done. So Dragon. Now that we've done all that though, let's see what he looks like on the Dragon, which I'm pretty sure most people want to see. So let's get into that. Let me just move this down. I'm actually gonna put on another hand so we can hold his piece while he holds the sword in another hand. Because in this game, when you get on the animal pretty much attacks for you. But I just wanted to look cool with the sword. So the animals are gonna attack for you, either doing headbutts or they're gonna like swipe at it with their tails. So here is the axe battler getting on top of his mount, and he looks really good. I'm gonna just fold it out. And he can hold this piece, so it can slide within the hand. So they've definitely made it so that way all this stuff works, not that it doesn't. I like where this is going. And there I go being lazy. I should have never cut that corner. But let's just slide that in ever so gently. Oh man, this is nice. This is really nice. This is something that's gonna work out pretty well for everyone if you weren't already excited about this. This is super duper nice. Let's slide that on. I'm not gonna slide on the feet pieces properly. I should, but I'm not going to, because just overall he just already fits on really well. And he's sitting in the seat, so I can imagine how other characters look. This is really nice. Damn, I'm gonna have so much fun taking pictures of this. Now, I'm gonna take him off, right? Because I wanna do one more thing before I jump into size comparison. And this is for everybody who collects any sort of mythical characters or just is doing the Mythic Legion stuff. I want to show you guys what a Mythic Legions character looks like on there, right? So where did he go? I know I have one here somewhere, right? So let me look, because I know I have him somewhere. Oh, well, I guess I'll get into that after the size comparison because I can't find it. So first off, let's jump to the size comparison. Let's do that. One thing I forgot before we jump into size comparison, Dragon also comes with a fireball. This is actually a really nice, solid fireball. If you've already have stands from previous Storm Collectibles, whether it's going to be from Goro or Sagat, all you have to do is find the plug piece. Plugs right in with no problem. Want to make sure I add that in before we jump into size comparisons. So let's go. So now we're going to jump into size comparisons and talk about some other stuff, and then I'll include Mythic Legions riding on the dragon. So let's do that. First things first, let's compare him to some other Storm Collectible stuff. So we have Hanzo here from World Heroes Perfect. So let's see what he's like next to Axe Battler. And as you can see, he is smaller than he is. Next up, we're going to do a Mortal Kombat Scorpion. And even Scorpion is indeed smaller than the Axe Battler. Right? Ooh, that's some good sizes. Next up, we're going to do Hayachi Mishima. Which means barbarians are either really big or it doesn't matter. Here is Iron Mike. Either way, I really like where this is going. And then we're going to do a taller one, which is Sagat. As you can see, Axe Battler is significantly smaller than Sagat, but not as much as everyone else. Just in case you want another big guy, here's Bane. And we already know where Doomsday stands in this. So now we're going to compare it to some Mythic Legions for those of you that want to get your mythical on. So here he is with a different type of barbarian, that from Mythic Legions. So the Axe Battler can be considered an abnormal size if you want to compare him to. Here he is next to a Goblin, Thump. And I think Goblins actually look really good next to him because you can see that they'll actually look like goblins. And the same goes for dwarfs. And here's Jordan. So yeah, I think overall he fits in well with Mythic Legions as a much bigger character. And then we have an Ogre here, who's not too much bigger than him, but big enough so that way he actually looks really good in the photos with the Axe Battler. So I think we have something here to really, really look forward to in case of mixing lines with this one, right? Next up, we have a Mezco Me on a Gomez body. And as you can see, I'm significantly smaller than the Axe Battler. And then we have, as far as representing the other smaller guys, we have an SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Cougar. And then we'll do a Marvel Legends Black Panther. So yeah, the Storm stuff is really big, but considering they're doing video game licenses and they kind of stick it to their own stuff, it works out well if you're going to use it with mythical stuff. If you're going to mix it with more domestic and American brands, it may not really work for you. But in case you had the idea of mixing him with like a NECA alien or having him fight like the Rhino alien, it actually may work out in your favor. So this is the kind of things you want to keep in mind in your mixing and matching to be a little more creative. And before I go, I did promise I would try him on with a Mythic Legions, and I want to try him with the Barbarian. So let's actually take out this front piece because this will get in the way of him sitting. So yeah, even the Mythic Legions Barbarian will look good on Dragon. And he can hold the piece as well. It's looking like, yep. Let's actually get this guy centered up for you. Yeah, he looks pretty good. So Mythic Legions will work well here too on Dragon. So keep that in mind for those of you who collect Legions, for those of you that want to mix and match or just do their own thing. I think this is one of those solid pieces that even if you didn't know what Golden Axe was, I think you can really appreciate the type of engineering and ingenuity that went into this. Overall, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. And as always, guys, please be good, do good, drink your water. Later.